The most important leadership development you'll ever do has nothing to do with other people, not the team, direct reports, or even the stakeholders. Just you and the gap between who you present yourself to be and who you actually are when the pressure is on. Most leaders spend their entire careers developing outward skills, practicing presence, strategies, influence, and never once turn the lens on the person doing the leading. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. I'm Shawn Michael. This isn't a podcast about pushing harder or fixing yourself. It's a space to see clearly how your experience is actually being created. Each episode offers a simple shift in understanding, not a tactic, not a hustle, a clearer view of thought, identity, and the patterns you've been living inside. Because when misunderstanding drops, relief rises, energy returns. You move forward with calm, sovereign clarity. This is your Daily Power Boost. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. If you've been following along, it's been excavation, beliefs, origins, your inner critic, your self-concept ceiling, all of it pointing inward, downward, toward the foundation. The next segment is where that foundation meets the world. Because inner work doesn't exist in isolation. It shows up in how you lead, how you relate, how you perform under pressure, and how you model what you claim to value. And it starts here with the most foundational leadership truth most people agree with and almost nobody fully lives. You cannot lead others further than you've led yourself. I know someone who was genuinely good at leading people, respected, trusted, the kind of leader others wanted to work for. But there was a pattern nobody named out loud. Every time the team hit a ceiling, it was roughly the same ceiling this leader had inside themselves. When the leader struggled with uncertainty, the team became risk-averse. When that leader avoided hard conversations, the culture quietly learned to do exactly the same. And when that leader's self-worth was tied to outcomes, the team felt the pressure of that without understanding where it was coming from. Not through instruction, through transmission. You see, leadership at its most fundamental level isn't a set of behaviors. It's a broadcast. And what gets broadcast isn't what you intend to communicate. It's what you actually are. The unexamined belief doesn't stay private. It shows up in the decisions you make, the feedback you give or withhold, and the standards you hold others to that you quietly exempt yourself from. The people you lead feel all of it, even if they can't name it, even if you can't. That's the gap self-leadership is actually about. Not self-improvement, not becoming a better version of yourself for its own sake. Closing the distance between what you're asking others to step into and where you're actually willing to go yourself. People don't follow your vision, they follow your example. And that example is set not by what you say, but how far you've actually traveled inward. This is what it looks like when a leader has actually done this work. They don't need the room to validate them, so they can give honest feedback without softening it into uselessness. They've examined their own relationship with failure, so they can hold space for someone else's without flinching or prematurely fixing. They know which of their reactions belong to the present moment and which ones are old wiring being triggered by a current situation. That distinction alone changes everything about how they show up. They're not perfect, and they don't have it all resolved. but they're honest about the gap between where they are and where they're asking others to go. And that honesty, that specific, visible willingness to keep doing their own work, is the most credible leadership signal there is. People follow someone who's clearly on the journey, not someone performing the destination. Today, I have one question. Think about what you're currently asking of the people around you, the standard you're holding them to, the growth you're expecting, and the courage you're hoping they will find. Then ask yourself honestly, have I actually gone where I'm asking them to go, or am I leading from a place I haven't fully inhabited myself? That question isn't meant to shame you, it's meant to locate you. Your answer tells you exactly where your next leadership development opportunity actually is, and it has nothing to do with a course or some framework or a book. If you're serious about becoming the kind of leader people actually want to follow, that work starts inside, not as a detour from leadership development, but as the most direct path to it. On a clarity call is where that work can begin in a focused, structured way. You'll find a link in the show notes. Next time, the people around you are telling you something about yourself, not with their words, with what they reflect back. And once you know how to read that mirror, you can't unsee it. With strength and heart, I'm Shawn Michael. Stay close. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.